I'm going to give you 5 PGA DFS tips so you can play DraftKings and FanDuel like a pro. We're starting right now. What's up, guys? Joe Holka here. Welcome to another daily fantasy sports and betting video. If this is your first time here and you want to become a profitable DraftKings player and get better betting, start now by subscribing to the channel. Make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss anything along the way. And if you're already a Holkamaniac, you know what to do. Smash that like button and we'll get started. The first underrated PGA DFS tip is that you need to know your own risk tolerance before you start to narrow down your player pool.
So part of that does depend on risk tolerance, essentially. I mean, like, you can still narrow it down to have like a wide range of players that you can select from. And some people try to diversify or narrow down because they don't want to be too exposed to a single player. So like a lot of it is just like your personalized risk tolerance. Like I don't necessarily mind firing, honing in and like going super narrow on players if I'm if heavily exposed to 3 or 4 guys, just because like it's just variance. Like when you eat GPPs. So like there's nothing wrong with essentially like scooping like multiple top 10 spots. It just means that you have to play for like scooping 1 GPP a year, which is, like that could be max EV, but it's a very high risk like life, which like not a lot of people have the patience for.
I look in 5-week stretches and I'm trying to hit, maybe once in 5 weeks and that's a break even type deal. But over a season, I set up my expectations for if I can hit 3 or 4 tournaments in a year. And because of the way I build and do stuff, when I hit, it is going to be like Colin mentioned, it's going to be a kind of a grab weekend, and just know those are coming and be patient with your strategy and trust your process. It's totally different than NFL to an extent in that way.
By the way, guys, if you've ever found value in any of my videos or live streams, one of the best ways to support what I'm doing here for free is to throw me the follow over on Twitter. And if you're new to the community, I also do a ton of content that's exclusive only to Instagram. So make sure you're following me over there as well, and I'd really appreciate it. The second underrated PGA DFS tip is that roster construction is still one of the biggest edges that we have left on DraftKings and FanDuel.
To me, it still comes down to, and the thing that I think I have an advantage over some is pure lineup construction.
Yeah,
I think I could give my player pool to many people every single week, and still I don't know if they could construct properly the way they need to in certain contests. And that's a gift and natural that you just have to pay tuition to learn how to do in my way. I did a lot of it in 2017 on purpose. I just tried different things in different contests to learn what other people were doing, and some people, you have to have patience with it, and some people don't want to do that, and so they cost themselves.
I think that's something that just goes understated in general in basically any sport. Like, so for example, like Manny does the NFL streams on on Sunday mornings. He's playing like 150 max, and like I said, I'm playing more of like the smaller field, single entry stuff. Like we're playing a completely different game. We should be building our lineups completely differently, and I think that kind of extends to a lot of different sports. So I'm happy to hear that that's kind of a golf type thing as well.
Some guys will go and they may build 3 different bullets and go, this is my high ceiling lineup, low ceiling lineup, average lineup. I don't really do that. I really just kind of what Drew was just saying. I really try to tighten down my core of my players to where I want to get to for the week. And then I just look for the spots where I'm a big play the guys you like to an extent. And so I look for the edges elsewhere. So if I'm up top and I'm close between JT, DeChambeau, and Woodland this week, I may put all 3 of them 1-1-1.
Sure.
And then I think a lot of guys fear making their core in the middle or lower price guys as opposed to that high, where I don't really care. If I have, Ches Reavie this week, I just make someone up, and he's high in my model and I think he may do well, and I put him in 2 of the 3 lineups and he makes the cut and he's, $7,600 or something like that. That gives me some advantage where I'm building elsewhere. The terms you'll hear is balanced lineup, stars and scrubs in golf. And I think that can come into play. So if you decide to go way up high with 2 guys and then you think you can pick 2 guys down low, that gives you an edge, that can give you big edge on the field, because most guys may be scared to go at a $6,500 Fabian Gomez this week, especially in a 333. But if you take that edge and it pays off, then you're already ahead. I lean more towards playing and building the team that I think will do the best overall.
I'm glad you mentioned that about stars and scrubs, because we had a question about that in the chat earlier. It just seems like a sport that at times lends itself that way, but also what I've picked up on some of these shows is a lot of times some of those really cheap values make for really good fades in tournaments. Before we get back at it, if you like my work and you want to support my work, the #1 way you can do so for free is by bookmarking my Amazon link and using it in your day-to-day shopping and purchases. What you buy doesn't matter at all. As long as my link brings you to Amazon, you're doing your part to support the channel. If you decide to join the Amazon crew, definitely let me know in the comments and I'll be sure and give you a shout out on the next video. The #3 underrated PGA DFS tip is that consistency still matters in GPPs and large field tournaments.
Your #1 goal there, just like anybody else, is 6 of 6, but you don't necessarily need 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, and 10 in the 1500. You know, you need a nice balanced lineup. You know, and then you have to leverage whether you want a high upside or a low upside. And then, like the other guys had said, the tournament matters as well. And so this week, the projected score will probably be 620 to 650 in DraftKings, where you can go all the way down to the Honda. I think last year the winning scores were in the high 3s, low 4s. So it's a totally different mindset of the, you know, the type of guys you need to win. You know, so a guy like a Kuchar, you know, I think Colin mentioned, in a Honda could be a great fit because his high low is a lot closer to the middle than some other guys that may be able to go out there and shoot 20 under, but also can miss a cut very easily. And so that the tournaments factor in a lot, as well as the contest selection, like Tambo said. His best of the best, he could probably score 120 points, or for the common guy, maybe he could top 5 the tournament, but his lowest range could be miscut. Well, you may have another guy like a Kuchar where his highs may not be that high, but his lows not going to be the miscut level. He's pretty confident he'll probably make the cut, but he may only score 80 points, 85 points for you. But as you construct your team, you may want to mix and match some of those variables, you know, in the guys you select, especially a single bullet. When you start going like Tambo, max multi-enter is a totally different strategy.
Just a reminder, a ton of people have taken advantage of this already, but if you're looking to invest in yourself and take your game to the next level, I do offer one-on-one coaching. So check out joeholka.com/coaching for a little bit more info on that. But if you still just would like to learn in the group setting, totally fine. A lot of people actually don't realize that if they have an Amazon Prime account, and a lot of people do, they automatically have access to a free Twitch Prime subscription. So it's just a great value. It's a way to kind of support me for free. You get a bunch of subscriber-only perks, as well as get access to our premium Discord. But regardless, if you're not taking advantage of these live streams, guys, you're really doing yourself a disservice. So throw me a follow over at twitch.tv/JoeHolka so you don't miss anything. Underrated PGA DFS tip #4. No cut events matter, guys. It's so much different than a normal week.
A lot of the guys who are volatile as far as birdies and bogeys are also volatile as far as making the cut. So in a no cut event, you can take on the risk of the volatile players without really any difference. You know, the guys who finish 30th or 60th in a no cut event, there's not going to be a huge discrepancy in their scoring. And so it also would allow you to pay up for some of the top end players without worrying about the $6,000 guys missing the cut. You know, you're going to get 4 guaranteed rounds out of them.
Yeah, and in a no-cut event, you know, they talk about strategy just like any other tournament, but, you know, stars and scrubs is a little more of an option because you can definitely get away with it. Everybody's supposedly getting 4 rounds unless somebody withdraws or somehow gets injured within the tournament with a wrist or a back injury or something. So I think that's for sure when I'll step it up.
So if like someone that's a little bit more kind of volatile, does it make a little bit more sense on those type of contests to really take some shots?
Yeah, I think the perfect, most real-life example I can give you is this past week at the Century Tournament of Champions, which is exactly a no-cut event, like you mentioned, 34 golfers. Jason Day, you know, came in outside of the top 10 in the field. I believe he came like right in the 11th, but he was in the top 10 in scoring, and that's because he threw in some eagles, he threw in some birdie streaks, and now that may not seem like a drastic difference. In a no-cut event, it really can be. So, you know, those certainly happen. You're definitely apt to take more risks of golfers that, you know, may just make birdies, but may also make a lot of bogeys. They can help you, especially, you know, in no-cut events.
Underrated PGA tip number 5. Guys, get into a routine of building your lineups on Wednesday night. You want as much information as you can, specifically about weather. In NFL specifically, I think it's kind of bad to like start building your lineups like super early in the week. And like this is another sport where we have like the entire week to kind of agonize over decisions and really try and make those type of calls. So are you guys building your teams early in the week, like waiting for like type of weather situations to play out? I'm curious on that side of things. So Davis, what are you? I'm sure Davis builds his lineups right before lock, like Sean does. But what are you doing?
No, I'm waiting for Drewby to get his ownership percentages sorted out on Daily Roto, and then once you get a good sense of what ownership is going to be, then I think you can start building your PGA lineups. Like, and I think also like listening to podcasts, like listening to Pat Mayo's pod, listening to the Daily Roto pod, like that's just always been my process. I've listened to those two shows just to get a sense of like what other sharp people are thinking, what people who are going to be playing in the same contest with me, like what information that they're taking in, and then kind of start like, honestly, it's like a good Wednesday night thing. It's like kind of just like the tradition of just building those Wednesday night before bed.
When do we build our lineups? I think that's a good conversation to have real quick is around, I think again, depends on strategy, because if you get some early research done, like you said, it's a quick turnaround in golf. So soon as football ends on Sunday, now we're out of football. Once that's done, you can start your research anytime after the tournament ends on Sunday. You can get right into it. Then you have till Wednesday night. For some, I know, like Gup just mentioned, one of the partners, Bucks, on Gup's Corner, he makes his lineup so early in the week, but his conviction is there. So don't sway from your conviction. If that's the case and you're playing sort of a single entry or a 3-max strategy versus myself, I'm going to wait till right at I haven't even made my lineups. I haven't finished my lineups yet. Let's put it that way. I've made some. But I'm going to finish my lineups after this tonight because I want to still play around. I want to look at what the latest ownerships are, bring it all together, and then I'm looking at my leverage spots, some more thoughts on what I have and what I feel people are doing in the industry, and then I'm going to build my lineups that way. So I want to wait till the very end. Other people, if you've got your conviction early, stick with it. Or if you've got something you're going after and targeting, don't change from that just because 3 other podcasts told you something different. You're just going to end up on the same lineup as everybody else. That's been a common theme today.
If you want to learn more about how to become a profitable daily fantasy sports player and get better at betting, start now by hitting that subscribe icon in the right-hand corner so you don't miss anything. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.